Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Times Record News Brew Review. Back in the office, this time with a very, very special limited release from our friends at Lakewood. This is Lion's Share 4. It is a 2016 annual release to commemorate their anniversary of opening the brewery back in 2013, I believe. That would be about right. 13, 14, 15, 16.
So.
It's 4 years. This year's release is got me pretty excited. It's a Brandy Barrel-Aged Belgian-Style Quad. In the past, Lion's Share has always been a different offering. For instance, Lion's Share 1 was an American double IPA. Lion's Share 2 in 2014 was a Berliner Weiss beer. Did I say that right? I think I did. So
I'm no expert.
Lion's Share 3 from last year was an old ale. So they've gone a little bit heavier this year. They've said this is one of the heaviest beers, alcohol by volume wise, they've ever made. 12.4% ABV.
Right,
39 IBUs. Now, normally, Lion's Share has only been served on draft in the past, limited locations. We're actually lucky enough that we're going to get tap night for it at Back Porch Draft House on Wednesday, somewhere around the neighborhood, 4 or 5 p.m. I think Greta might be there to talk to some people about it. This is the first year they've done it in bottles, so this is special for 2 reasons. You know, obviously being a limited release anniversary beer, and the first one that's ever been bottled. They put a really nice package together for it, as you can see. There on the back, there's actually a really nice description and letter of thanks from Lakewood's founder, Wim Benz. So that's kind of a nice touch. And also on the side with the name Lion's Share, they have an inscription of the lion from Aesop's Fables, which is kind of neat. And then on the other side, you get all the good, important information about it. 12.6%, 12.4% ABV. 39 IBUs, the original gravity, where it stands on the SRM scale at 20, so it's about a medium colored beer. But more importantly, let's go ahead and crack this open. Let's open this box up.
One other thing I like that they included on this box is the recommended glass. We got pretty close. Recommended goblet glass
standard.
and the recommended serving temperature of 58 degrees. I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's pretty nice to have those recommendations there, along with. I don't think it's here, but on their website they actually have some suggested pairings for it. Stuff like aged Gouda, roasted duck, stuff that'll make you hungry.
We normally have roasted duck in the office. It wasn't here today.
Yeah, our normal shipment didn't come in.
It's only on Mondays.
So as we said, this is a pretty. They've said this is a big, boozy, robust beer. It's the highest, one of the higher ABVs they've ever brewed. It includes notes of dried cherries, figs, dates, and raisins intermingle as the finish warms you up with the pronounced but not overwhelming presence of alcohol. I believe there's also some hints of toffee and vanilla from the barrel and the barrel aging process of it. So, you ready for this?
I was born ready.
Born ready. Oh, I guess I wasn't apparently.
Born
not.
ready for anything aged in a brandy barrel.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Now that I think about it, I think this may be the first beer I've had aged in a brandy barrel. Typically, it's whiskey barrels, bourbon barrels,
right.
Things of that nature. It's a pretty nice pour.
This appears to be quite viscous as it is coming out. You see, it's a little more solid than I think we're used to on this show, right?
Yeah, it's got a great head.
That's what she said. As you can see, the Lion's Share pours with a nice kind of copper color, I guess, is what I would describe it as. A nice
right up there at that 20
lacy foam head, and see it has some really good lacing there. Kind of aromas are you getting, Orlando? Oh,
I can really taste. Oh man, I can really taste the cherries, and it smells sweet. I've already taken a sip of it, obviously, but from the smell of it, it smells sweet. You're going to get some of those candied sugars that are known for being in Belgian quads.
This is divine. This is a really good beer.
This is very good. It does have that like overly booziness flavor to it, like compared to some other Belgian triples I've had, and things of that nature. Of course, with it being a quad, that would obviously be amplified. But I'd still say for even the booziness to it, it's pretty smooth, pretty well balanced, rounded out.
I don't even want to get into the specifics. This is such an experience of a beer. This is.
They're very well made. The Trappist monks would be proud. as I mentioned, you can smell the cherries from the moment that your nose gets close to the glass. You can also taste them, and that combined with the the candied sugars gives off a sweet taste to it, but it's not overly sweet because, as we mentioned and as they've mentioned several times, big booziness factor to it. So that sweetness and that booziness plays off of each other pretty well for a well-rounded experience, I would say. What are you tasting, and what are your thoughts on this?
I think well-rounded is a very good way to put it. There's nothing here that's standing out that's kind of angular or jagged. Everything is going together really, really well here. To me, the cherry is well done, but that's really going to be the signature taste in any quadruple or quadruple, however you want to say it. That's really what distinguishes it from a Belgian triple, making it a quadruple is the sweetness, and generally that's a cherry taste. But I think is really well done though is the caramel notes that are coming through, caramel,
just
caramel,
thinking about that on
and the fig. And the fig has a real distinctive taste. I mean, it's a sweet fruit, but it's a different kind of sweetness than a cherry. So I think those other flavors were added in very well. There's very little bitterness here, but I do get some of that on the back end.
Just a
it
tad
helps to
bit.
balance out the sweetness.
And I think that's also coming from how much alcohol is in the beer. And normally people will tell you that IBUs are the only thing contributing to it, but with it having that boozy flavor, I think that's what you're going to come from. And then obviously being aged in brandy barrels, it may take a little bit of those properties on. I don't know.
How much did this cost?
I believe this was $22.99. It is available. I'm not sure about Cox. I do know for sure it is at Local Boys. And Sean Carroll, when I was picking this up, told me he's got plenty of it. He made sure to order as much of it as he could. So
this is the best beer I've had in several months.
Yes,
I would say.
I would agree too.
If you really like good beer, you have $22 to spend. This is definitely one you should get.
Or go to the tap night on Wednesday. You can try it on. You can try it on draft. So
this is really good. I wish there was a rating above Mugs Up. There's not, because we would abuse it.
Probably.
There was, but Mugs Up all the way.
Had to take one more little sip just to verify. Joking, definitely Mugs Up.
So good.
I would almost caution it as a sip slowly just because of how boozy it is, but I still think with the glass that it's served in, if you go and get it at the pint night on Wednesday, it's going to be probably like an 8-ounce pour, so you're not going to get too much of it. And
I would think so.
You're definitely going to want to sip it. But even with everything else taken in consideration, there's no way this beer can't be a Mugs Up.
So beer drinkers, catch us next time. We'll be at the Back Porch Draft House for the tap night on this beer, and they're going to have several others, correct?
I'm sure they'll probably put some others on tap. They usually do that whenever they have a tap night, but this is lion's share is the main focus. It came out in August, and from what James, the manager up there, told me, they've been sitting on this keg for a little bit. I don't know, trying to let it age for a little more, or just trying to pick a really good day to share it. But
so we're going to be up there sampling the goods. Watch our next video to see what we think. Thanks.